Hello friends, I'm back with another one die set 3 cards collaboration with my friends Alma and Helen. And this time we're using this My Favorite Things die set, and it's called Carpool. And there's a lot of pieces that are included, and I tried to assemble one so you can see the parts that are in the die set. Since this is a standalone die and it doesn't come with any sentiments or stamps or any critters, I'll be pulling from my stash some of my favorites that I use all the time. This will be quite a challenge for me, so I hope you'll enjoy this video. So for my card number 1, I pulled some pattern paper from this DCWV 6x6 paper pad. I think I got it from Michael's. It was on sale. It's an old paper pad, and then I just die cut the body of the van, and then I set it aside. And I also chose that blue cloud background for this card, and I used the LDRS Creative Cutting Edge Border die to cut a piece of gray cardstock, and I'm using a Distress Oxide black suit to darken the edges of that border gray cardstock. And then now I'm also darkening the edges of the body of the car or the van, and I'm still using the same Distress Oxide ink just to give it kind of like a shadow. I'll just use that gray border as my ground for my scene card, and I'll set it aside to dry. Now I sped it up a little bit to assemble 2 of these vans, and I just use scrap white cardstock to cut out all the wheels, the side mirrors, and the bumpers for these cars. So now I'm just adding double-sided foam tape behind these cars to add dimension. And then now I'm ready to adhere the gray border to the cloud background panel. So this will be my placement of the 2 cars on my panel. But first I want to stamp my sentiment on the gray border. I am using another MFT set that I love. It's called the Fast Track Friends, and it matches perfectly with this Carpool die set. So I will be heat embossing the sentiment, and it says, "As long as we're together, I don't care if we ever reach the finish line." So I thought that was cute for this card, and I'm planning to give this to my husband on our anniversary. So now I'm just stamping the sentiment using my Mini Misty and Versamark ink. And then I'll use white embossing powder from Recollections that I got from Michael's. And I will use my heat gun to melt the embossing powder until it's shiny. So now I'll just remove the release paper from the double-sided foam tape and attach both the cars on my card panel. I want to make it fun by making sure that their side mirrors are touching, so it looks like they're holding hands. And if you notice, I haven't adhered any of the headlights because I really wanted to add an interactive element on the front of this card. So instead of using the die cut round shapes for the headlights, I'll be using googly eyes for both of the cars. And these googly eyes here on the right side I got from Target, I think, and it has those tiny cute lashes for the girl. And then the other one I got from the dollar store, and I showed my kids and they really like it. So I just thought this was so cute, and at least it has an interactive element, and I really had fun making this card. So now I will just attach this finish panel on my card base. It measures 4¼ by 5½, and I used the 110-pound white accent opaque cardstock for my card base. And here I'm just quickly adding the rectangular piece that I forgot to adhere earlier. And then I'll just use my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen, the glitter gloss, to add some shine on my card. And finally, I'm gonna add some enamel stickers, the heart shapes. It's from Amy Tangerine. I'm just gonna add 3 hearts in between those scars. And that completes my card number 1. For my card number 2, I will use another MFT product. It's a die set called Color Blast, and I die cut this on a gray cardstock, and I'm using my Distress Oxide ink again to ink blend the edges of the die cut piece, and make sure to leave like a white or a light spot in the middle just to create some highlight for this die cut that will be my background for this card. That yellow car on the side I pre-made earlier off cam so I can use that on my card. And then after I'm done with the blending, I'll just trim around this die cut. So I'm just cutting it with scissors. I'm trimming off the edges. And then I'll just set that aside to dry. I will use a stamp set called Big Hugs from the Sassy Club, and I chose 2 characters from that stamp set. I colored and I fussy cut them out, and that's the ones that I'll be using for this card. And I will also use a pattern paper from this Take Note Doodlebug Design 6x6 paper pad. I die cut it with the Elizabeth Craft Designs dashing rectangles die. So here I'm just trying to figure out where to place all the elements on my card. I did put double-sided foam tape at the back of that car, and then I added some more so the 2 critters will kind of pop up a little bit. So I'm just gonna remove the release tape, the release paper, and then just attach both the characters. But before I attached this car on my panel, I did get a sentiment from my stash. It's one of those sentiment strips that I have from Tailored Expressions. So I chose the sentiment that says, "You make my heart happy." And then I also have this big thanks sentiment from Honeybee that I have in my stash. And now I'm just attaching that green background on my card base. I have a A2 standard size card base. Now I'm ready to assemble. I'm gonna adhere that gray Color Blast die cut on my green background panel. And then I'm just gonna cut the excess, and then I'm gonna attach the thanks sentiment directly on the upper part of my card. And then I'll remove the release paper from that double-sided foam tape on the car, and that adhere it on the bottom of my card. And the white sentiment strip I will pop up also, and then just put it right under the thanks sentiment. I will attach 2 yellow round die cuts in the middle of for the headlights. And then to add some sparkle, I'm gonna use this Simon Says Stamp Confetti Mix sequins. I'll just adhere a few on the left side and some on the upper part of the car. And that completes card number 2. For card number 3, I have this red cardstock from my stash that I'll use to assemble another car. And then I'll use this same Doodlebug 6x6 paper pad. I got red pattern paper from this pad. And then I'm using some critters that I colored at die cut. And this is from Avery L. Peekaboo Pals. And I use a die from the Gina Marie Designs Peekaboo Rectangle die set. And I created a window for my shaker card. You can see here that I was planning to use a piece of vellum for my window, but later on you will see that I changed my mind and use acetate. So here I am just showing you how I stack up all my characters or my critters on top of each other. I did use a washi tape to hold them all together, and I made sure that they're not overlapping. And once I've attached them behind the car, I remove the washi tape that's holding them together. And here's the part where I changed my mind that I wanted to use the acetate piece instead of the vellum, because I thought the vellum won't show the shakers very well, so I just decided to use the acetate. And I just quickly used my embossing powder bag to remove excess adhesive on my panel. I'm using some chunky glitter from Michaels. I think I poured some iridescent ones, and then red chunky glitter, and then I also have this red sequins also from Michaels. And then I just added some more chunky glitters because I know I have a big space to fill. So I just keep adding all the colors that I like for this shaker panel. And then I added some more. And then some more. And then I said that's enough. So I don't want to overfill it anyway, so I just removed my release paper from the foam, double-sided foam tape, and then just strap all those chunky glitter on my panel. I also added some double-sided foam tape on the car and on my characters. And then I'm using this Hero Arts Congrats stamp set. And I just stamped the sentiment, "We're so proud of you," on a white cardstock. And then I just attach it in front of the car. And to finish this off, I will just add some more Simon Says Stamp Valentine Sequin Mix. I just added a few on my panel. This will be a graduation card for one of my daughters who's graduating from elementary this May. And that completes my card number 3. So here is the close-up look of all the 3 cards I made using the MFT Carpool Die-namics. This time I cannot pick a favorite because all of them I really love and I had fun making all 3. I hope you can tell me which one is your favorite, and please don't forget to watch Alma and Helen's videos to see all their cards that they made using the same MFT Carpool Die-namics. And again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!